Welcome to my channel. My name's Bissy, and this week I wanted to dedicate an entire video to highlighting the most thought-provoking, interesting, and of course funny comments I've received recently about Interview with the Vampire Season 3, The Vampire Lestat. You hear my thoughts every week, and I just love the sweet, kind, and thoughtful community that's forming down in the comments. And this is the best way I could think to say thank you and show my appreciation. Plus, I thought it would be a lot of fun. If you're enjoying my videos, please let me know by hitting like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified whenever I release a video. Okay, so in no particular order, I love you all equally. Let's dive into some of your comments. Okay, so I've been pondering what the failures and the albums could refer to for a couple of days now, but a couple of you have some fantastic ideas. Let's listen to it one more time.
You are listening to The Failures, Album 8, Side A.
So before we get right into the details, I just wanted to give a blanket spoiler alert for any and all theories in this video, just in case any of them do turn out to be correct. Plus, I've blurred any sections that speak about events further along in the books. Okay, so Kathy says, "Hi Bissy and viewers," that's you. "Great call on the painting. Couple of thoughts. When the radio introduced The Failures, it made me think of the panel, New York Comic Con I think, where the actors were asked to describe their characters' Season 3 arc in one word. Sam chose failure. I wonder if that's significant." Now, I absolutely love this comment because I literally sat bolt upright when I read it. I was like, oh my goodness, I remember. Did you see the clip where Sam said this? What do you think he meant? Now, Kathy wasn't the only person to mention the failures. Mushka also has some really interesting thoughts, and I must say they do write some fantastic comments, so if you do get a chance, have a read. But on the failures, Mushka says, "There are several theories floating around the idea that this scene is not part of the first episode, but rather 2 or 3 episodes in. The intro does support and validate the list of episode names that is also making the rounds around fan-based outlets. AMC is all over the place on this one, with documents and different departments finding their way into mainstream media, the fans, and fans knowing where to go look to find treasure. I think they, AMC, know exactly what they're doing, and it's working. It's all very exciting." Now, I think this is so interesting. I mean, I personally don't know where these fan outlets are, and I don't go and search for them myself. I mean, I do sit and wait for the official confirmation, just because my head just can't take it. But I love that you guys come to me with this information. It's so interesting, and I did want to share this with anyone who may not have heard about this episode list. I mean, I haven't seen it, but apparently it's out there. Mushka also goes on to say, "It saddens me to think that this scene and eventual book reveal might be part of the failures episode. The thought of this one moment materializing into one of Lestat's failures is heartbreaking." And I agree, it really is heartbreaking. I mean, I really believe this season is going to rip our hearts out. And they are letting us know that that's going to happen here, I think. And speaking of our hearts getting ripped out, I admittedly was a little bit taken with the heart eyes of it all, with our beloved Lestat and Louis. Now, it was so nice just seeing them being so nice to each other, even if we could only enjoy it for a few seconds. Rafia KMK says, "Love this breakdown, and great point about us finally getting a glimpse of the real them. I wonder if in both interviews, Louis left out a lot of their affectionate moments because he worked backwards from the trial and the role he believed Lestat played in it. So to him, the softer moments might have felt like a distant and nostalgic delusion, given their history together." Now, I think this is such a good point, and definitely something that I've thought about. Have you? Punch6832 said, "Louis thought he could fix Lestat on the page, pin him there like a specimen. So he became louder than ink, brighter than judgment, alive in ways paper cannot hold. If Lestat was to be seen, it would be burning, moving, singing, and utterly out of Louis' control." Now, if you thought that was amazing, just wait. This commenter is fantastic with words. Now, the word that really stood out to me in that comment was the word control. And I responded to that comment here. But what I really wanted to highlight was Punch's response. So Punch says, "You bring up an interesting point, and the same contrast I've been pondering. Ancient vampires no longer bother masking their powers. They rule through awe and terror because they've accepted isolation. Lestat hasn't. He refuses that kind of eternity. Masking his powers is his rebellion against becoming untouchable and unloved. Louis survives by control, by shaping memory, disciplining emotion, arranging the world on the written page until it can no longer surprise him. His method is containment. If it can be named, ordered, confessed, it can be endured. Lestat, by contrast, survives by concealment. He masks his power in beauty, noise, and excess, because unfiltered force isolates him. Now, with Lestat unbound, we finally get to see what happens when the mask stays on, but the brakes are off. As for our hearts, they will be broken. Some stories are meant to ache." Ugh! Now tell me that isn't a fantastic comment. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this too. Now, as I said, I did get a little bit heart eyes over the whole Lestat of it all, so I did want to specifically choose some comments that did challenge my thoughts. Who I'm calling MMM writes, "Hi Bissy, I'm absolutely in love with the clip. This is exactly what we needed. This is just my opinion. Of course, the flirty scenes are great, but there are more layers to it. First of all, Louis hasn't made anything of his breakthrough and is falling back into his old ways. He knows perfectly well how insecure Lestat is, especially when it comes to his music. Yes, it turns into a flirtation, but Louis can't help but control Lestat. It's worth considering why he spoke so extensively about Lestat's relationship with and ability to music in the 1973 interview, because he knows that such things hurt him deeply and that he has to chew on them. And what was Louis thinking when he didn't talk to Lestat about the events of the book? What did he think would happen?" So again, I really do love this comment, and it actually came at around the time where I was kind of snapping out of my haze and thinking a little bit more critically about what we were seeing and why, in particular, this was chosen to be shown to us. What do you think? Now, Kristen is bored 766 asked a really good question. Is Armand being perceived like that because of the author's bias? Now, I would love to know what you think, because the way they've depicted the in-show fandom is so interesting to me, and I wonder if that's going to continue throughout. If you haven't seen Telemasca, I would say give it a try, at least the first episode, because we do get to see Daniel and where he's at when the book is released, plus some of the fans. So we know we're going to be introduced to quite a lot of new characters in Season 3, The Vampire Lestat. I did a couple of videos recently on Gabriella, and Raffia KMK mentioned, "I also saw her as trapped by the societal expectations and gender norms of her time, which is maybe why she eagerly embraced vampirism as her ticket to both freedom and agency. I wonder how or if the show will explore this aspect of her identity. I like how Gabrielle decided she wanted to roam the world, even if it meant going on her own. But it definitely made Lestat's abandonment issues even worse." Now, this is exactly what I'm looking forward to seeing with Gabriella. What are you looking forward to seeing? I also did a video on Marius's impact on Armand up to and including The Vampire Lestat, the novel. Now, I'm so intrigued to find out how they're going to handle this, and it seems you are too. Jamie Reed Watch, NPC3, wrote, "But I don't think we'll get much of Marius with Armand in Season 3. I hope I'm wrong, of course. I think Season 4 will continue The Vampire Lestat." Oh, definitely. I think so too. They did say that the season will be split into 2 parts, I believe. And Angela Holmes, quadruple 8, says, "Marius' withholding about those who must be kept from Armand definitely contributed to him feeling second best. But Marius was so right to not tell Armand. Even though I'm not a fan of Armand, I do have empathy for what he went through in his human life." I do too. And Petunia in an Onion Patch wrote, "I wonder if the people in the bookshop recognized him when he became a rock star." Now, I love this. I love this so much because I'd love to see those employees' faces once it dawned on them that they had actually served Lestat. And I wonder if their positions would change ever so slightly once they knew they had had that interaction with him. And Claire3614, in response to me pointing out that Lestat had bought 2 copies, wrote, One is for him to keep. The other one is to send angry notes addressed to whomever it may concern. This all checks out. Now, I love these comments so much. And the rest of these comments are going to be the ones that have made me chuckle. Alien in the Caribbean says, I apologize to my family, friends, and co-workers. I'm going to be insufferable over this show. Insufferable. Now, I couldn't have said this any better myself. This is absolutely how I'm going to be in June. So everybody watch out. Quaff the Raven 9 says, Lestat turning the iPad instead of switching the camera. Louis not understanding the cloud. Saying no one reads anymore in a world that even has audiobook versions of books. Lestat literally walking to the store to get the book instead of ordering online. Buying a download or listening and buying 2 copies to trash one with notes. Our Facebook boomer moms are back and I love them for it. This really tickled me. I actually laughed out loud. I loved it. Okay, so that is all of the comments that I wanted to highlight in this video. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have, and hopefully I'll do another one of these again. I mean, you guys are amazing, and please do keep them coming. I love them, and I respond to every single one of you. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.